teenagers' fervor for hoops took root.
You played it, in the afternoons after class, every day before you go to work or whatever.
There were like 15 basketball courts, and you started at the worst court, and if you kept on winning, you worked your way up to the best court, and you'd be there for 7-8 hours a day.
I'm sure that's where he really got hooked on the sport.
Mark's interest in technology, however, was slower to develop. He took only one computer class in college and cheated for a passing grade.
I never saw myself in computers. Computers were, where the super geeks were at. So I cheated, got someone else's stuff and turned that in and got a B+ or an A or whatever.
School was something he had to do. He had to get it done with in order to get somewhere else.
When Mark turned 21, he purchased and rebuilt a bar near campus. Then he shrewdly sold stock in Motley's Pub to his fellow students.
They all paid $50 stock. They had to come to the bar if they wanted to make money. So that place was jammed.
September 24th, we opened, and there was a line around the block, and we were like the hot bar on campus, which went great, and I was raking it in.
I can't remember anybody in my 27 years here, basically, opening up such a major business while they were a full-time student.
So we got busted for a wet t-shirt contest. Then it kind of went.
The contest was a success until one of the competitors was recognized.
Her probation officer calls the Alcoholic Beverage Commission and says, look, not only is this girl on probation, but she's only 16. And not only is she only 16 on probation, but she's on probation for prostitution.
The local police discovered more underage drinking, and Motley's was soon shut down. Mark graduated and returned to Pittsburgh, taking a job with Mellon Bank.
I was just, excited as could be. And went in there thinking, okay, this is my first step into the corporate world. I'm gonna start changing the world, right?
Step one in Mark's global plan was to start an office newsletter. The humorous pamphlet was well received by almost everyone.
Mr. Whitman, bald as a cue ball, called me into his office, just started screaming at me. Who the hell do you think you are, doing this without permission, making me look bad, da-da-da-da-da. I'm out of here, I can't deal with the corporate world.
After a brief return to Bloomington, Mark moved down to Dallas. He joined 5 friends in a 3-bedroom apartment.
That was number 6. I got the corners, the crevices. I didn't have my own bed. I didn't have my own closet.
It was just a pigsty. And we had this big, nasty, brown velour couch, this thing that, it was just disgusting.
Mark took a job at a small computer retail store. Sensing a growth in personal computers, he set about educating himself on the subject.
I used to come in early, stay late, and just teach myself all this stuff. And started selling, and I was making okay money. I was the #1 salesperson. I was doing great.
Mark was a hotshot salesman with a chip on his shoulder. When he refused to vacuum after closing, he was fired.
You sat behind a desk, calling yourself the president, and didn't do squat the whole time, didn't sell a lick, and you're losing money, and you're letting your #1 salesperson go. Okay. Lesson learned.
Desperate to be his own boss, Mark called one of his sales clients with a proposal.
He said, if you can help me out with a couple $100 a month, we can start another business. That's all I need.
In May of 1983, Mark and Martin launched Micro Solutions, a computer networking company.
I'd pull all-nighters teaching myself stuff. I would lay in bed all day just reading and rereading and, trying to memorize stuff.
He was selling by day, learning by night.
I went 7 years, literally 7 years, not a single vacation. Like, didn't take a day off, didn't go anywhere, didn't do squat.
Micro Solutions was positioned perfectly, cresting the wave of computers rolling into the workplace. And Mark's sales techniques quickly became the stuff of legend.
I don't know, is there such a thing as a good morning rap? Like, it's Wednesday morning and I'm here to say, I'm gonna make you more productive, I'm gonna make you more profitable, give me a shot. And if I don't pay me.
Early on, I refused to go on sales calls with Mark because I couldn't stand to listen to a sales presentation because, there was a portion of it that was glitz, and there was a portion of it him selling himself, and then there was a portion of it that was real technology.
The company grew fast, reaching 10 million in sales by year 5 and 25 million just 2 years later. In 1990, Mark and Martin sold the company to CompuServe. Mark was only 31 years old and a millionaire.
I was on top of the world. My new job title was going to be retired.
When we had our 15th reunion, the first thing he said was, well, I made my first million.
It was definitely rewarding to come back and say, yeah, I'm doing okay. What are you doing, Mr. Football Star? You know, so that was good.
Mark was rich, but now he wanted to be famous.
I don't think you should talk about sex with girls. Who's Rachel?
In 1990, Mark Cuban sold his 8-year-old computer company for more than $5 million. Just 31 years old, Mark went off to see the world.
I bought a lifetime pass in American Airlines, which cost me $125,000 basically for 80,000 miles a year. And I just went everywhere, 11 countries in a year.
Mark finally touched down in Hollywood. Young and restless, he decided to try his hand at acting.
You're never going to be able to her.
We all had a pretty good laugh that Mark was going to go out and try to be an actor.
You're never going to be able to her.
There was no doubt in my mind. That was going no place.
Caught my girlfriend cheating with this other guy.
I started taking acting classes. I'm like, what better way to meet good-looking women, you know, maybe even famous women, and who knows, I might get lucky.
I don't think you should talk about sex with girls.
You'd ask him who he's dating. Well, this girl who's in this and this girl who's doing that.
I would just beg the teacher, give me a scene where I have to kiss her. Give me a scene where I have to kiss her. And he was cool about it.
I beat the out of him.
Mark spent 2 years in Los Angeles and actually appeared in 2 small films.
Who's Rachel?
Oh, there were some clips that were terrific. Don't blink your eyes, you're going to miss them.
Oh, I'll just go get something. No problem.
Didn't become Tom Cruise, but he did accomplish another goal. He wanted to be in a movie. He was in a movie.
Placing his acting career on hold, Mark returned to Dallas in 1995. Todd Wagner, a fellow Indiana alum and hoops fanatic, approached him with an idea.
What do you think about the idea of using the internet to broadcast sports? I'm like, that's a cool idea, you know. It's 1995, the internet's brand new. I'll put in a little bit of money.
We just kind of literally shook hands, said, we'll be partners, we'll share this 50-50, let's move on.
Mark and Todd hoped to find a way to listen to Indiana basketball games in Dallas. They started locally, taping the broadcasts of a Dallas sports talk radio station and playing them back on their website.
I remember walking in one day and I kicked over the radio and Mark's like, we're off the air, we're off the internet. Because I'd knocked over the $20 transistor, so I'm like scrambling to try and stick in the cord back again.
Our first office was right beside a Mexican restaurant, and we really paid the employees with Cokes and soft tacos from next door.
But we couldn't have had more than 20 employees. I said, look, you know, I have no idea where this is going to go. But one thing I'll guarantee you, in 5 years, this thing is either going to be worth billions of dollars and you're all going to be millionaires, or we're going to be out of business and we'll just be friends. There's going to be no in between.
With Mark pushing his salespeople to the limit, AudioNet began to grow. And the feedback that Mark and Todd received inspired bold new ideas.
I started getting these emails from all over the world saying, hey, this is a cure for homesickness. This is a cool idea. This is amazing.
And they let you know the things that maybe you didn't always think of, which is, I'm in the office and I'm listening to this game. Really? Hadn't thought of that one.
You've surfed the net, now hear the AudioNet.
And then your mind starts saying, okay, what can we do with this? What are the other applications?
www.audionet.com. Have trouble picking up radio signals in your office? Now you don't need a radio. Listen to live radio from all over the world on AudioNet.
So we put up the first radio station, you know. We put up the first TV station on the internet. We did the first earnings call.
Growth came at light speed. 380 radio stations, 40 TV stations, 16,000 live events. By 1998, the company had over 300 employees and a catchy new name, Broadcast.com.